Hey everybody, Kimberly Vanderwer with World Awaits Academic Consulting back with you this week for another video regarding the college application process. My apologies that I haven't been with you guys in a couple weeks, but I have been putting together this 12-week Conquering College Admissions course and kicked it off last week. So I've been quite busy, but I'm back. I'm back to answer all of your questions and to help you guys with college admissions. So today I am going to be responding to a question that someone sent in a few weeks back, and it's with regards to the various student visas. And I understand that, when you start looking at the student visas and the process involved with getting a student visa, that it can be frankly scary. I mean, there's a lot of steps involved, there's government agencies involved. So yes, it can be scary, but really all that you need to concern yourself with at this point would be figuring out, where you want to go to school, making sure that they can issue you a valid I-20, which I'll talk about in a second. And then you can start working through all those other steps. Like those will come much later. So let's now talk about the 3 different visas that are available to you so that you know kind of what you're getting into as you go through this application process. So the first visa and the most common visa is called the F1 visa. Now the F1 visa is available to those people who are coming over to study and they're doing it on a full-time basis and they have some sort of end goal. So that means that they are maybe going to be receiving, in the case of younger students, a high school diploma, or in the case of you guys, a bachelor's degree or a master's or PhD. So they have, an end goal, so the degree in mind, and then additionally will be attending school full-time. And so what will happen once you get accepted into an institution is they will issue you what's called an I-20. And this I-20 just indicates that you are going to a school that is recognized by the United States, and they are also stating that you will be attending full-time. So you'll take this I-20 and you will set up an interview with the U.S. Embassy in your home country, and you'll be required to bring that I-20 with you. So when you go with your I-20 for your interview, there are a few things that you're also going to have to show. You're going to have to show that you have English language proficiency, an appropriate level of language proficiency in order to be successful in an educational setting in the United States. With the exception of if you're coming over specifically for a language program, so say a 4-week-long language intensive program, then they'll waive that requirement. But in most cases, you need to display that you have English language ability. And then you also need to show that you have the financial resources to support you while you're in the United States. So most commonly, students will have a chunk of money in a bank, and they will show that to the consulate. But it's not the only way that you can show financial backing. You can also have a sponsor, so someone who says that they will be covering your costs, or scholarships or grants or financial aid from the United States. So there are various ways to show aid. You do need to show that you have enough for minimum for 1 full year of study in the United States. So on your I-20, there will be listed the tuition that your school is requiring you to pay. So you're going to need to show that you can cover that tuition plus living expenses. So you have that requirement, plus English, and then additionally, you need to show that you have the intent to return home to your country once your program of study is completed. So that may be, 2 years, 6 years, whatever, you need to show that you have intent. So that can be having property, or a business, or simply family members. The United States just wants to make sure that you're not going to remain in the country once your visa expires. And, these visas are good for the duration of your program of study. So if you are attending, a master's program, perhaps they're going to be good for 2 years, or perhaps 6 years for a doctoral program. Whatever the case may be, it's going to cover your time while you're in the United States. On these visas, additionally, you do have the opportunity to work part-time. The F1 visa is the most flexible of all of the visas in allowing you to find work. So the next visa is the M1 visa. And the M1 visa is very similar to the F1 visa. It has all of the same requirements. However, it is issued to those students who are coming over for a vocational school, for example. So a school that isn't, they aren't necessarily seeking a degree, but they're coming over to learn, how to be a beautician or to attend a culinary school or something like that. And the M1 visa has a couple differences in it. First of all, it's only good for 1 year or the duration of your academic program. So whichever comes first, that's how long the M1 visa is valid for. You are, however, allowed to renew it up to 3 times. It's just that, once you get to that 1 year mark, you're going to be required to go through that process and that paperwork again. The other thing with the M1 visa is it does restrict your ability to work part-time, unlike the F1 visa. And with the M1 visa, basically you get to work 1 month out of every 4 months that you're in the United States. And then the last visa is the J1 visa. And the J1 visa is less common than the other two, but they are used by professionals. So people who are coming over most commonly on a Fulbright scholarship will use the J1 visa, or students who are coming over for like very specialized learning program, or to conduct research, or teach, if they're coming over to teach. But the most common reasons people use this is for the Fulbright scholarship, or they're medical students who are coming over to the United States who they already have their medical degree, but they're learning a new surgical technique, for example. So that's when you would be issued a J1 visa, and the J1 visa has all of the same requirements as the F1 and M1 visas. However, you also need to show that you have insurance from your own country for the duration that you're in the United States. And also, there's a little bit more restriction on how frequently you can apply for the J1 visa. Sometimes you can apply for an extension on a J1 visa, but most commonly you have to return back to your home country and wait 2 years before you can return to the United States on a different J1 visa. So those are the 3 visas that are available to you as a student in the United States. Again, it's not really something that you need to be overly concerned about at this point. Once you get accepted into a school and you have your I-20 on your way, then it's time to start worrying about those little pieces, such as getting your immunizations and preparing for the interview and those sorts of things. And that's something that we can talk about later on down the line. But at this point, just look at different schools, look at different visas, and just know what kind of visa you're going to be applying for down the line. Of course, please reach out to me if you have any questions with regards to this topic or any other topics that I might address in a later week's video. And then also you can contact me anytime if I can help you with anything in the application process. I have tons of tutorials and workshops and packages to help you with whatever you need in the application process. So please do reach out if I can be of assistance. And other than that, I will see you guys next week, and happy college planning.